better dash for my class of rebels, cause you know we came to blast when we smashed the metal. Brooklyn, that's how we doing it. Brooklyn, that's how we doing it. Brooklyn, that's how we doing it. Brooklyn, that's how we doing it.
Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome, welcome. We are back. Welcome to the On to Everything podcast. I'm your host, Gene Green Brown, and my lovely co-host, Miss Lovable, aka Aisha. Aisha, what's good?
Nothing. I miss you.
I miss you too, man. Like, Jesus, like it feels like forever, right?
I know. Life.
Yeah, man, life happens, man. Like, you know, like since the last time I seen you, like I went through so much. I had a back surgery. I had a minor stroke. I mean, it's been a lot, like a car accident. I mean, like just a lot of stuff. Yeah, the devil's a liar, though, you know, like because we still gonna come out victorious.
Stomp his ass out.
You know what I'm saying? Like through all the ups and downs, relationship issues, everything, God is good. You know, like, and you know, I'm just here to do what He called me to do. You know. So anyway, what's up with you? Oh, thank you. Most people call it man.
Big smile and stuff.
Yeah, most people call. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm very happy to be here.
That's what's up.
I just came from Africa today. I rode a zebra.
You rode a zebra.
I rode a zebra here.
Let me not make fun of nobody's accent, cause
I know, right?
I don't want nobody coming for me.
Don't mind me. Don't mimic me. Listen, like I like making fun of everything. You know, comedy is my thing. So, you know, what's up though? Like, how you been?
I'm taking it easy. This hip replacement surgery stuff. I mean, it did good. I mean, it was good, but I'm still recovering. I just got back on my cane. Well, off the walker. Now I'm on my cane, and then trying to wean myself off my pain meds.
Oh my God! That sounds like a nightmare. Mm-hmm.
So I know bad people has been worried about me, or cursing me out, or just showing me love. But I've been doing the physical therapy. I'm about to do aqua therapy. I signed up for the gym.
Oh, really?
I signed up for the gym and aqua therapy. Absolutely. My bathing suit just came in, by the way, because I have bathing suits, right? I got like these little 2 pieces and stuff, but I gained so much weight, so I can't fit it. So I had to buy me a 1 piece, just to chill, just to swim.
Yeah.
And get my workout on to be stronger. But other than that, that's it. I'm good.
Everything takes time. You know what I mean? Just, as long as you put it to work. You know what I mean?
I know. Thanks, Mashaka. Thank you.
Mashaka. So, yeah, man, like, I know we got a topic to get to today. I'm excited about that. Can friends with benefits really be friends? It's a tricky question. Because I think that once you cross the threshold of being intimate with someone, that you cut out the opportunity to actually be friends. I think that friends with benefits it's difficult. It's difficult to maintain that relationship part of it. How do you feel about that? Because I think if you sleep with somebody, a 3-time rule with people. And I'm not trying to be promiscuous or having sex for marriage, anything like that. But anytime that you sleep with.
Oh, We lost Gene. Okay, he's gonna come back, guys. I think he's loading. Okay, I think he's loading back up. Gene, are you there? Are you there? Okay, okay.
I mean, it really gets tricky, you know. Like, you know, once you put that threshold, somebody, especially when time, I think that the friendship after that is kind of off the table.
But it's off the table.
The friendship of the relationship. I think that you know, like you basically, you know, past the point where you can, you know, like actually be friends. Like I think that maybe your friends first is still if you even if friends first and you still, you know, like decide to sleep with a friend, I think that you know you and chance to have a friendship. How do you feel about that?
Interesting. That's interesting. I feel that you can't be friends while being intimate because somebody's bound to get jealous. Somebody gonna act stupid and crazy. Like it's not gonna work. It will never work.
That's my point exactly. Now to the episode that you know, because I've tried it before, you know, be a friend. Honest, like you know, I tried it before. I think that trying to avoid the episode that goes along with sleeping with someone and still being their friend, but it actually complicates the whole.
Are we having? I'm sorry, everyone. We're having some technical difficulties. Okay, he's coming back.
I don't know what's going on. Like everybody's fading out. Like I faded out, you faded out. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we're here. So anyway, what's your point of view? So like, how do you feel about that? Have you ever tried it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm seasoned. I'm a seasoned woman. I'm not young. Okay. It doesn't work. Somebody is bound to get jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is bound to get jealous. And then what if you decide that you're not going to wife me up and you wifing somebody else up, but you're intimate with me? We're friends.
Mm-hmm.
We go out together. We go to dinner together. We're intimate together.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not giving me wifey benefits. You're giving somebody else. So that it's going to be a problem. And it won't work. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're in a relationship, if you're in a committed relationship with someone, that can happen to be friends, but not being intimate partners.
What's popping, Dawn? Mm-hmm.
What up, the Dawn? You have off today?
I mean, even like relationships that I've been in, right? Like, and I still got the birds after the relationship was over. It never works. I mean, I probably have, you know, like, well, so like, when I break up with somebody, you're gonna get the rawest part of me. I'm gonna destroy you, leave the relationship. So going out of the relationship, you have to be a really difficult person to deal with, and that's because I'm very sensitive, and sometimes I feel like I'm patient or fault. You know what I mean? So when I finally decide to pick up with someone or to leave the relationship, it's like I take it so personal that, you know, like sometimes the false stuff come out of my mouth, you know, I tend to, you know, be very mean about it.
Listen, both parties gotta have an understanding about friends with benefits. Anyone there? Okay, we lost him again. The devil don't want us to live. That's what it is. You know, we came back from a good break and we're having technical issues. But do we have any callers? Anyone? YouTube? Let's go. Can intimate partners be friends? Hey.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
What's going on? Hey. Hey, hi. Hello. Yeah, but I just think that, you know, like it could be a real difficult situation, like just trying to maintain a friendship when you coming out of, you know, being friends with, or you coming out of, you know, trying to be friends and just having friends with benefit type of situation. I just think that it could get, you know, a little crazy. And it's really almost impossible to like have that and like have the without the feelings. Like I said, I'm a sensitive person. I'm a sensitive guy, you know.
Well, then you shouldn't have those type of relationships.
Yeah, I can't.
No. It's either we're gonna be intimate or we're gonna be friends. It can't be both.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that goes regardless if I'm in a relationship, regardless of anything, you know, like if you know, if we're involved in a, you know, like that type of relationship, then, you know, it's not going to fly. But, you know, like I said, to argue the other side of it, like some people would just rather have a relationship, you know, friends with benefits type of relationship. Some people are built for that. Some people are not made to have like regular relationships. Like, you know, like some people, you know, they have commitment issues or things that, you know, like things that you went through when you were younger. And, you know, like it force you into that type of mindset and that type of situation. And then, you know, like sometimes your yeah.
Which I said, if my friends don't let me smash, we're gonna be friends.
Yo, I mean, like for me, that was me for a long time. Like, you know, like I'm like, what's the point of us being friends if we not doing the thing? Like, listen, like I'm not trying to sit here talk on the phone with you, fill in for when your man's not there. I'm not trying to do that. Like, yo, if you're not gonna let me clap some cheeks, then, you know, like it's gonna be an issue.
Well, you should.
But you know, now that I'm delivered and I gave my life to the Lord, my penis has been dedicated to God. We had a whole ceremony for it. You know, like I had to walk through the church, hand it over, and I gave it to God. But previously, like it was just my view that, you know, like any girl that I was cool with, any girl that I was close with, anybody, like I had to sleep with them. It would round into that anyway, because like most of the time I'm just trying to chat up some buns. Like I'm just trying to get close enough to strike. You know what I mean?
Don, sexual partners cannot be friends.
I mean,
that's how people get their ass whooped.
You know what?
Ass up, and that's how dudes get their ass up. Look at God.
Yes, he will do it. Yes, hallelujah. He's coming in a Honda, retie my bow tie. Come on now. I gave it to God. Yes. I'm delivered.
It's not true. How can you be friends with somebody who you're intimate with? Mm-hmm. But then you're probably taking somebody else, another woman seriously. You're not taking her seriously.
Well, see, like that was my issue. Like I remember when I was younger, like I had a girlfriend, and I used to talk on the phone with one of her friends all the time. Mm-hmm. And you know, like I'm just sitting there, like, okay, like this got to turn into something because I'm putting in hours worth of work. I'm singing slow jams at night. You know, like that was back in the days when you cut on the music while you talk on the phone. Like, you know, I had my beat going. You know, like I know so many old school love songs just because I used to be on the phone with her talking. And you know, like something wonderful happened though. Like I think that we didn't end up sleeping with each other, but we kissed one time, right? We kissed,
Okay.
and we, you know, like, and it was just like, okay, let's not do this because this could turn into something crazy, right? So now to this day, she's one of my best friends. Like, you know, like she has my back, you know, through anything.
I got a male best friend, and we ain't never kissed, never hugged, never fucked, never sucked, none of taste, none of that. None of that. Listen, from the very beginning, you know if if you're gonna be friends with the person or you not. From the very beginning, if once y'all meet, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you're sitting up there whispering sweet nothings in her ear and you playing her slow jams, that's not a platonic friendship. That is something that you want more of. Of course, you want to slap them cheeks. You know you trying to get things moist and stuff. You know, so that's different.
You know what though? She was kind of tomboyish, right? So it was crazy, right? Let me tell you. So while I'm doing that, like she's not paying attention to that. She's not into that, right? So I think like that's where like we was like, okay, maybe it's just best if we just be friends, right? Because like, you know, as I'm playing slow jams and I'm talking to her, I'm realizing like, yo, she just concerned about, you know, parties or whatever. She ain't sitting there thinking about you know, thinking about messing with me. Like she wasn't thinking about, you know, getting a part of Gene the Dream. She was just you know, like she was just being a good friend.
Y'all dreams, yo. I swear I can't. I can't.
And then I realized, you know, like even, you know, like now that we're adults and we're friends and, you know, like I'm like, man, like that could have really went left.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, because if I would have slept with her, like we wouldn't be able to be friends.
No, that would have been a problem. That would have been a problem.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, like happily before she got married, she came and bought furniture from me. She moved out of town. You know, like I met her husband. I was able to meet him with no guilty conscience. No, yo, I used to tap that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, that thing in the back of our heads. It's like, I used to tap that. You know what I mean? Like,
see, that's how men and women get killed. That's why women and men don't trust their significant other friends from a different species. Like, all right, y'all must have been
she's good Lord. We friends with aliens now. I know.
That was intimate.
Yeah, and
I'm not introducing myself, or my man ain't gonna know that this dude who's my friend now, I used to kiss him. Like, friend. This is somebody I date, or I just kissed one time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think that you know, like that type of situation could get awkward, like, you know, real quick.
Yeah. Yes.
And I've had girls like that I've dealt with before or whatever, like, and we still cool. You know what I mean? Like, march up to me with their man, and you know, like it's awkward for me. You know what I mean? Like, because to me, I'm just sitting there like,
how would you have felt?
I would be tight.
No, you wouldn't have been tight. You would have been murdering that chick and the dude.
I would be singing the song. You can't stop the rain.
No, come on. That's the ultimate disrespect.
Yeah, man. Like, definitely, it definitely is the ultimate disrespect. I think that a lot of times though, like when we go into these friendships that turn into friends with benefits or whatever, it starts off well intentioned. You know what I mean? Like it starts off really well. You know, like exactly. I want this to be my friend. Like, you know?
Like I want to be friends, and then down the line, possibly eventually, y'all start seeing each other. You know, different things, different ways. And that's where the foundation starts at too. That's how a good relationship starts out too.
But you know what's crazy? Like it's like if you're in a relationship, I don't think that you should.
Shut up, Sean. I mean, Don. Shut up. That's just
I mean,
smacking the shit out of you. Shut up. I'm sorry, Gene. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. He crazy. Like, but you know, like it's you know, like you start off well intentioned, like you wanted to be your friend. Like I remember there was a girl, like we worked together and we used to play
Precious.
with Precious was popping, Precious.
Please, NYC in the building.
So like we started out like we was just friends, and you know, like we moved on to flirting, and you know, like eventually, like we never messed with each other. There's another story. Like I always remember the ones that got away. Actually, like I probably remember the ones that got away more so than I remember the ones that I actually dealt with. That's crazy, but
and Mashaka, that's true. Once we friend zone you, that's it.
That's not true because I've wiggled my way out the friend zone before.
I mean, because y'all men, y'all aggressive, you know. But then my thing is with a woman, like at the end of the day, she probably been wanted it. So it's like all y'all got to do is be aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, Precious.
Yo, happy B-Day, Precious.
Right. Happy birthday.
Where the party at? Let us know.
She gonna get apple juice wasted. She ain't.
Where is the party?
Ain't no party.
We don't want to answer your
party.
question.
She gonna get apple juice or some Similac wasted or something.
Why?
She pregnant.
Oh wow! God bless you. That's what's up. Congratulations.
Hey.
Congratulations. I didn't even know that. That's dope.
Yeah. Well, I was being nosy on Facebook, so that's hard.
Facebook detective.
I know. She's on my timeline. Rubs belly. Yeah, but Precious, we're talking about can intimate partners be friends? Can they be friends? Really?
I've done it. I've done it before. I've maintained a friendship. It's just, you know, like sometimes like for guys, like I think, you know, like I said, I'm sensitive. So like for me, I think, you know, feelings get involved quicker than, you know, like I know. You know, like I got attachment issues. So, you know what I mean? Like for me, it's like I gotta kind of keep my distance, you know, like in order to maintain something like that. So the degree of difficulty is unattractive to me because like once I conquer a girl or, you know, like that's, you know, like once I conquer, I feel like it should be mine whenever I want it. And I don't think that like I'm up for dealing with, oh, you got a boyfriend, you don't have time for me. Or, you know what I mean? I'm not.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And she said, the attachment, you know, that's where people get, you know, people have the issues.
And that's when they take control and they have control. That's the problem with women these days too.
Mm-hmm.
Is when a man have control is rap. You see this finger?
Yep.
Is a rap. No. You want to see when you want to.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not how it goes. She said, "Let me call in because
there's no phone lines today. Unfortunately, our phone lines are down right now. But yeah, like I think that because of that though, like because of my attachment issues, like I try to avoid situations like that. So if I can't have it, then like the streets can have you. You know what I mean? Like
why the streets gotta have you? Why you just can't just normally just move the hell on to the next chick and see?
Yeah, I am, but the streets can have you. Like go do what you want to do. Like because
like it's her fault.
It's not her fault. It's our situation's fault. We blame it on the situation, not the people.
How is it the situation fault? Like
because if we're only able to be friends with benefits, that means that it depends on, you know, like what is the situation between us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, you know, like I did the friends with benefits thing. Like I did it successfully. Like you know,
It don't work.
at
I've
the
been there
end of the
too.
day, like when it's time to like leave it alone, or you know, like it's kind of like you know, it's a
Got
little
to.
hard. Like
It
you
hurts.
get a little tug in your heart. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because you
get
already built a
that lump
foundation
in
with
my
that
throat.
friend, and then all of it, you know,
Hmm.
and then y'all been intimate. So I've been on both sides, and
Yeah.
both sides is not a good feeling at all.
Hmm.
It's not a good feeling. So
Yeah. And usually, like,
it's either we gonna be intimate or we gonna be
mhm.
friends or we gonna move forward into a relationship. It's either way.
And usually, like my the breakup part or the separation part, usually that's my fault.
Uh-huh.
It's because like I'm the type of person I can't leave stuff alone. I want perfection. I want it my way. I'm saying my ways, so I'm not going to change. You know what I mean? Like so most of the time, like when feelings get involved and stuff like that, I you know like wow.
It gets like that, precious
Girl,
girl.
she said she lost her best hitter.
The best
Lord,
hit girl. Girl. I hate girls. Let me shut up. I got Facebook friends. Let me shut up.
me too.
Maybe on Facebook. So.
Yeah.
But I'm over that though. But I'm just saying, like, but it happens. But it can't. It's dangerous. Honestly, that's why now women getting shot and killed, men getting fucked up. They getting shot and killed.
Hmm.
Friends with benefits. There's no communication. Now, if we haven't benefit, if we're friends with benefits, that's it. You can't tell me who I can talk to, who I can date. If I decide that I want to be intimate with dude, who I want to go, not, and vice versa.
But you gotta set the rules though, like and set the barriers and explain it. Like, and that's the problem with most relationships nowadays, period, is the lack of communication. That's the biggest problem with any
All they want
relationship
to hear
now.
is this. Look, that's
No,
all they want
because
to hear.
like if that's not coupled with me doing it another time or doing it when I want to do it, then I don't want it.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like if I can't call you and say, yo, in the middle of the night, yo, I'm gonna pull up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pull
Yeah.
up and I need you and you can't be there for me, then I don't want it. I don't want it. Now, you know, like if there's an agreement set in place, maybe, you know what I mean? Like I could probably understand, like, okay, like, yo, we said we wasn't gonna do this, like we're not gonna do this, or we gonna do it this way. I could probably get with it more so that way. And that's the way I did it. And it, you know, it kind of worked out. And, you know, like we're not friends anymore, of course, you know, because I just think that it's inappropriate to be in a relationship and still, you know, like linger and talk with, hang with, or, you know, play around with people that you slept with before. I think that's, you know, that's inappropriate. But for the most part, like for me, like friends with benefits could be a beautiful thing. It could be a beautiful thing until, you know, like if you're able to keep the feelings out of it. And Precious, I understand we got a schedule, can't pop up. For me, like I like to be sporadic. I like things to be off the cuff. Like, you know, like I just like things to, you know, I want it to be a surprise. Like, hey, surprise, we're having sex today. You know, like I think friends with benefits or, you know, like the type of situation without a, you know, relationship, it kind of, you know, limits you from, you know, like from being yourself.
Mashaka said once he hit a woman raw, the woman is his. Like, really? Really? Really, Mashaka?
I dedicated my penis to the Lord. I'm not going to comment on that. But back to I don't like the schedule thing. Like I see y'all saying y'all like the schedule. I like it to be,
like I gotta prepare for,
you know, I want it to be spontaneous. Like, you know, like I want to get surprised. I want to surprise you, like, you know, and if it can't be like that, then it's like, yo, what are we doing here? Like, why am I even wasting my time?
Or
And
it has
another
to be
thing,
like, well, listen, I'm going out with my man, so I'm gonna have to hit you up Sunday, and you could come through, or we can go chill and go out the country, or like go to Miami for 2 or 3 days and call it a day.
but even that, like, it's like, nah, you know what? You were sleeping with your man. Go sleep with your man. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's my attitude. My attitude is like, yo, if you have to choose between me and somebody else, I have a huge, big ego. So
It's friends with benefits, dude.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So like, if you gotta choose between me and somebody else, they can have you.
True. We gotta take a break.
Yo,
gotta pay some
we go
bills.
to the break. Thank y'all so much on everything.
Looking to podcast shows and do not know where to start? The Evening Rush Network can help you with that. Call us at 929-441-2417 or email us at theeveningrushnetwork@gmail.com for dates and prices. We got you for all your podcast needs. The Evening Rush Network. Tune in, subscribe, and share.
What's up, y'all? Your boy Shice, Mr. Talk of the Town, letting you know now the Evening Rush Network now has the app. So catch it on the Google Play and the App Store. And you can catch all your podcasts like The Evening Rush, Let's Talk Crazy, The Queens of NYC, Sex, Love, and Alcohol, Plug, TL Mac Fitness, I Am Nicole Clara, On Everything, and Getting to the Focus, and all in one place at the Evening Rush Network app. That's right. So catch all your favorite shows. What are you waiting for? Download it now.
Yo, and we back.
These
We're
bills
back.
getting expensive. Woo, child.
Huh?
I said these bills getting expensive.
Oh, word. We got to keep it going. Like, yo, if y'all looking for spots, if y'all looking to sponsor a show, come and see us. Yes, we are open for business. We are open for business. And we sponsored by Sayings by Butter, Flourishing Hair Care System of NYC.
If you need your hair to grow, if you have alopecia, I can help you.
Who?
I can help you. It is what it is.
If you got, I'm a preacher.
Yeah, alopecia.
Oh, I thought you said I'm a preacher.
No, well, maybe I did. I don't know. Alopecia.
Alopecia. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I heard of it before.
All right. So, I mean, that's how it go.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes. So back to can friends be with benefits?
I just think that it's really, it's really a tricky situation to try to, it's a tough line. It's a tough thing to kind of carry. You know what I mean?
True. You there?
My man knows what to do. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I see what the problem is. Got it.
Oh.
I'm back. You see me?
Yes.
I did a Houdini. I'm back. Okay. Sorry about the internet issues. Can't wait till we back in the studio. So we don't got to worry about stuff like this. But yes, yeah. So I just think that it's a real tough. It's a real tightrope to walk on. Trying to do the friends with benefits thing.
And then not only that, it seems like people need multiple sex partners. Like, come on.
I mean, hey, we need spare tires, right?
Seriously?
Huh?
Seriously.
Do you need a spare tire when you drive? When you have a car, you drive with a spare tire, right? Why do you need a spare tire?
Listen, yes, my vehicle needs a spare tire.
Why?
My vagina don't need extra penis. Because my man is going to put it down, and if I want more, he's going to give me more. I'm not going to need to go get some more penis.
So what do you do? what do you do in the event that like he's not available or it's a no?
Well, then he's just not available. He's gonna have to make time to become available. That's my man. You understand? Now, if I'm in a position to date, I'm not in a committed relationship, and I'm dating, and I decide that I want to go off and to have some intimate time with somebody else, that's a different story.
So
To me, that's a different story.
what's a fair time period to not be intimate with your spouse or your
can't-
mate?
With your spouse?
Yeah, or with somebody.
That's a lot. It all depends on someone.
Before you start looking for a spare tire or looking for a change.
It all depends on that person, because I feel like you should be able to fight for your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But then it should. Honestly, you got a week or two, and I'm Well, I'm not gonna rape you. Anybody else out there? I'm not raping. I'm just saying. He gonna give me some.
And what if it's a no? Like, what if it's a no? Like 2 weeks into that.
No, it's no. And don't get me wrong, relationships. People think that people don't go through that. A lot of people.
I know a lot of people that go through it. That's what I'm asking.
But you got a week or two, and if like a serious no, like all right, whatever. Okay.
For
Shit's
weeks.
gonna go down, but I'm gonna try and get me some from my man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to get me some from my man, but listen, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that either. But I don't understand that either. Like, come on, the juice, especially for us women, the juices be running. We be, down there be pulsating.
Mm-hmm.
Even when y'all get on our nerves, don't get me wrong, when y'all get on our nerves, we still want it. But then if it's a deeper issue, we don't even want y'all to touch us. But that's when it's a deeper issue. You understand? Shut up! Tell your mama.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So Dawn said, you got like a good week, 1 week.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. A week, 2 weeks tops. You're going to give me some, and then if you're really serious of not giving me some, there's a conversation that has to be had, because you can't sit here and tell me I can't get none. So I can't get none. Who the fuck are you getting it from? Because you're not getting it from me. So then we got a real problem. If it's a real serious deep issue, you understand? Especially if I know my man's sexual habits, and I know that he has to get it every other day or every other 3 days, and he can't go longer 2 weeks. So if I don't get enough for 3 weeks, a month, he's fucking somebody else. Somebody is wetting his penis. You understand? There's a problem. There's a fucking problem.
So like we're gonna turn this right back into friends with benefits, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, like, do you look to a friend first, or are you going, or do you go and just like try to find somebody brand new? Because like most of the time, like when you're in a relationship, like, and like I tell my friends this all the time, like there's always people on the sidelines waiting for your relationship to mess up. Just waiting, lurking.
Always. Somebody always in that DM. Somebody is always, and even if it's not somebody that y'all know, especially if you have a pretty girl, she's banging, whether she dressed pretty, she fly, all that. She's getting hit on in the streets. She's getting hit on in the streets. Social media, like, come on.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you go to the friend? Like, oh, okay, like, yo, my relationship messed up.
That's the problem. That's the problem with y'all men. This is why y'all get fucked up. Don't go to your female friend who you fucking about our relationship, because then now she knows everything that's going on in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
now she wants
what if it's a female friend that you never slept with?
That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing.
So we shouldn't go get advice from female friends at all?
No, you shouldn't. You should. I don't feel that men should get advice from a female friend who they already have been intimate or they are intimate with, or that woman is showing, or they like each other. There's no way in hell.
How you know if you like somebody? Like for me, like I got like a turned off switch. Like I really can't like somebody if I'm in a relationship with somebody. I can't like you like that. Like I can like you like, yo, you cool. Okay, you funny. Okay, we got a lot in common. Like I can like things like that, but I can't like you. You know what I mean?
But at the end of the day, you're like, just entertain me for a second. You're still intimate with your friend, and you have a girlfriend. You got wifey, the main chick at home, right? Mm-hmm. So wifey, you and wifey got issues. She ain't giving you no buns. She ain't sucking your dick. So you're sitting up here like, yo, you telling your homegirl, like the girl with the benefits, like, yo, I'm having issues at home. Like she ain't fucking giving me no buns. She not even sucking my dick. Like that. She wants that. Like, word, she ain't doing that's competition. Her like, oh, word, she ain't. Come here, baby. Bop, 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 bop. Come here, word.
It's like you kind of gave her the password to exactly. You, right? Like,
but see, yeah. Now, if you're telling a friend, like a platonic friend,
yeah,
the friend is going to sit there and tell you, like, yo, you better work that shit out.
Because like right now, right, like. I mean, like, I probably got like two really good female friends besides you, right? And you're a good friend. Yes, absolutely. Stop it, right? So, like, as opposed to like, I don't like to talk to girls about girls because, like you said. Mm-hmm. Like you said, most of the time, like it will create like a competition type of situation. Right? Because, like I have one friend, like most of the time I feel like if I got a girlfriend, like most of the time I don't talk to her. You know what I mean? Like I kind of cut that. Why? Because like I feel like she creates like that competition type of situation. Like because she's like, yo, listen, you deserve this. You deserve to be treated like this.
If like, you have a girl, your
girlfriend don't do this, you deserve that. Like she's like that, right? Mm-hmm. So with her, like I kind of like gotta cut it because I'm like, listen, I don't want you to down talk my girlfriend or make me feel bad.
Down talking, you ain't disrespect. That's not down talking. I'm sorry, that's not down talking. That's being disrespectful. See, look, you already getting me upset.
I don't think it's disrespectful.
And you don't even have an issue.
Listen. If I don't think it's disrespectful if she's telling me my value.
Precious.
Like I don't think
that shit is a forfeit. Like what? I'm sorry.
Wow, Precious, come on.
Her ass is pregnant. Her shit is double forfeit. You know that pregnant pussy is good.
Well, it's been a long time for me. My kids are older, but yeah. Like I was saying though, like so the one, she's not being disrespectful. She's just telling me, yo, know your worth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so she's like, yo, you deserve to be treated better than that. I can't tell her stuff about my relationship because she's my friend. She takes it personal. So if I take something personal, Precious, cut it out. Jesus Lord.
Okay. It's the pregnant hormones talking. It's the pregnancy hormones talking.
The Precious, we're gonna have prayer with you after the show, all right? We're gonna call you, we're gonna pray with you.
The pregnancy hormones, like yes. Yeah, I get it. But my thing is,
y'all nasty. Sean, what's up with you, bro? You joining this cap too? He's talking about pregnant cat is the bomb. Lord. I know it's about everything, but
he don't have them kids for nothing. back to back like that. Shit. Yeah. But
these
my
things,
thing,
yeah.
real quick, I think that men and women, when you are friends with them and somebody like you or something, they're so quick to tell the next person like, yo, fuck her or fuck him, you know, leave him alone. Instead of telling them like, yo, to really get down to what is really causing her not to give you some or to do. It shouldn't be just like, well, cut them off. That's one thing I hate. And I think that's why I'm friends with the people that I'm friends with, because they're not going to give me what I want to hear. And they're not going to just be like, yo, fuck him. You know, well, let me back that up because it does happen, but don't automatically just tell me fuck him and you didn't hear what's going on. You just heard like he ain't giving me no penis, or he didn't call me at 8:05 a.m. like he was supposed to. Fuck him. That's not how it's supposed to be. Let me tell you what's going on. Dissect. Let's analyze what's going on. What can I do to save my relationship? Something. However, I don't believe that friends can be intimate. Friends can be intimate. People could be friends, especially if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Yeah, like, and that's what I was saying, right? So like, a lot of times, like, you know, like I don't really talk to girls I slept with. Like I try to, you know, like cut that off because, you know, like I'm in a relationship. So, you know, I want to be faithful. Right. And, you know, like I don't want to play with something or give nobody the opportunity to, you know, step on my relationship.
Because your girl gonna fuck them up anyway.
Exactly.
You gonna fuck her up. Yo, me and your girl gonna fuck that bitch up anyway, period.
Exactly.
One, you disrespecting my homeboy and his girl. That's one. Two, stay in your lane, and then I'ma fuck you up because you allowed that bullshit.
All right.
That's the type of friend I am. That's the type of friend I am.
And you are. I could vouch for that. I'm vouching for you.
You know you do, right? Don't lie.
I'm vouching for you.
Yeah.
Yo, so like then I have this other friend, right? Like I can talk to her about my relationships, but most of the time she'll give me that, yo, here's what you do. Do this, do that, do this, and see what happens. Say this and say that and see what happens. Or, you know, she gives me that, right? But then it's like, I'm scared to go back to her after I say this, say that, do this or do that, because if my girl felt that, I don't want to tell her that. Because, like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I still feel like, yo, you're going to violate my relationship. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why people can't be friends with somebody that they are intimate with.
I wasn't
What is the point of telling her
like,
what you're going through? What is the point of going to your friend and telling her what you're going through, and you're taking her advice to try certain things to save your relationship, and then it saved it, but yet you're not giving her props?
No. What I'm saying is, I tried what she's saying and it didn't work. That's what I'm saying. So now I'm not gonna go back and tell her like, yo, it didn't work.
She probably did that shit on purpose.
No, I mean, you know, like, I mean, you know, all of this was a long time ago. You know, other relationships I had.
It doesn't matter. It could be in general. It could be in the past. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not, like, for me, like now, the age I'm in now is like, if I meet somebody, I want us to start as friends. Now, I already know why you stopped me in the street or you hitting me up on social media. We're adults. I get it. Yeah. Within the first or the second call, I already know what you want. You either just want some ass from me, or you want more, right? And the talk, because a lot of people start off talking about sex.
Yeah.
Like, what's your sexual position? Like, wait, what? Or they start sending pictures. Like, wait, huh? That's when you get blocked. You understand? But if we can start talking about politics, you know, religion, just current events. I want to be able to know about your parents, because I want to know how much of an asshole you are, or how loving or supportive or how aggressive you are through your parents. Like my mother, yo, let me tell you something. She will ride with you, but she's no fucking. She a Gemini, you know, them two-faced. But my mother she will help you and don't give a fuck. Like, meaning like she will help you. I get that. That attribute from her. You understand? but then I get other attributes from her, and then it may not coincide with the guy that's talking. Like, no, bitch, I don't want you to be too nice.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be too nice. Can you be a little more aggressive? You just too nice. Just like with men, with women, if a dude is too nice, we think you're a punk because you're not assertive.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, Don. That is true. But in a lot, but that's what I'm saying. Most of the time with men already know if within seconds, like, yeah, I'm a booty duke her. Like, I'm gonna take it in her butt real quick. Like, that's what
You know
I
what's
want.
crazy? Like, all right, so I'm a salesman, right? Like, that was my job for mad years, right? You can see a customer in the parking lot and know if they're gonna buy. And it's the same thing, with dealing with women. Like, I can see you coming. So most of the time, I'm constantly reading people. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing that I do, and I do it well. Like, I know, okay, this could go here. This could go here. This is gonna be easy. This is a takedown. This, you know what I mean? But where my wires get crossed is, okay, this should be a one-time thing. Me and this girl should be a one-time thing. I should just clap, leave it alone, versus I'm gonna clap, I'm gonna keep clapping, I'm messing with this girl. We should just be friends with benefits.
True.
And that's where my wires get crossed. Because, like, every girl that I sleep with, I can, like, I'm not gonna boast on myself, but I'm pretty good at it, right? So I never, it doesn't happen to me where I sleep with a girl once. It doesn't happen. So with that being said, most of the time, like, I would get it twisted. Like, yo, this could have been a one-time thing and it would have been beautiful. Like, we'd have been cool. Why did we try this relationship thing? You know what I mean? Like, we still could have been cool. Sure. But, like, now we tried this relationship thing, and now, like, I got a whole different ugly point of view of you now. You know what I mean?
You didn't get to know the chick. That's why. That's the problem that a lot of us go through. We don't communicate, and then a lot of the times we hide our flaws. Like, for example, like, really quick, men they want to have sex for freaking hours at a time. So a woman gonna be like, well, I like having sex for hours too. And or a woman be like, well, I like a clean house. I got OCD. But then, as you come into her house, you are like, all right, she clean, But then when you constantly go over there or you spend the night over there for like a week, you like, bitch, you ain't OCD, you nasty. You got NST, you nasty. So you start knowing a person as you start to, you talk to them and you get to know them more. That's why people need to communicate and to date before they wife up people. Well,
but it's not even just about communication. It's about being honest.
Yeah, that too.
It's about being honest.
Yeah.
To be honest, because, like, most relationships will flourish if you're able to be honest with the person that you're dealing with.
Absolutely. But people want to sit there and fabricate so much. Like, they hide in anything, and we're not.
And it's hiding it for no reason.
No. Women be like, oh, my pussy gets wet all the time and it stays wet. No, bitch, it doesn't. Like, don't get me wrong, your pussy does stay wet, but with all that friction, it dries up. You understand?
And if it stay wet, if it stay wet all the time, something's wrong.
Something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or she like, yeah, I like to ride dick, but she's a dead fish. Like, people fabricate.
Yo, and you know what? It's like, why do all of that? Why get me entangled with a situation if this is not real?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, now you made me fall in love with something that's not real. And now my heart is involved, and it's like I'm trying to find my way out. So now I turn to my friend. And my friend got benefits. My friend is offering things that you're not offering. everything that you won't do, she's saying she does. Matter of fact, she does it, and she likes it.
Where my women at? I'm surrounded by men. Yeah, I get it.
She likes it.
I get it. I get it. But the best thing to do is have genuine intentions, because again, y'all men think with your heads. We honestly think with our hearts, and we're smart and we see red flags before anything. However, you guys already know once you push up on that woman, you already know what it is. But then maybe possibly by speaking with the young lady, it may change your mind. It's like, all right, she do have a head on her shoulders. I see a little her flaws, but that's not a
It's not that serious. Yeah, it's not that big of a problem.
We can work through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I get it.
But the same could be said for women, because y'all act like we all come into this situation with all kinds of ulterior motives, but girls do the same thing.
Yes, that's true.
Y'all get involved for money, for all kinds of other reasons than the actual person.
I think men do it more than women. Like, we didn't have a choice in the matter, because most men just don't. They just not honest.
What do you mean? Most women are not honest either.
Listen, you heard what I said, right?
I'm going to argue that because most women are not honest.
Listen, I get it. My thing is for me, really quick, this is a true story. Very true story. And if anybody that knows me, they know that this is true. I was in a car accident 12 years ago, fractured my hip, pelvis, leg, knee, all on the left side, right wrist. I was bedridden for 2.5, 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
People was hitting me up because men was hitting me up in the DMs, right? Through IG and Facebook, because at the time I wasn't showing pictures that I was in a wheelchair, really. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to them. I'm like, this is not going to go nowhere. It's just going to be, normal conversation. And they wanted to know how I look. Like, you want to listen. I had a bad car accident. I'm in a wheelchair, and I don't know if I'm gonna ever walk again. Mm-hmm. Do you know I went on 4 different dates with 4 different men in 3 years? All they want is honesty. But my thing is, it never really led to anything. It really didn't. It didn't really lead into anything. Mm-hmm. But like pushing me in my wheelchair, they was playing like they wanted to put some D's on it. Like, yeah, we was enjoying it. My thing is, I put my business out there really quick because, one, I can't lie. I mean, I can, but I can't lie, meaning because I'll get caught up in it. I would sit here and say I had Burger King for lunch, and then 2 minutes later I'll sit there and say I had McDonald's, and then another second I'm like, I ain't eat lunch. Like, it makes no sense. So you can't still roll. Shut up. So get out. I'm telling mommy right now. Matter of fact, let me call her real quick. So I feel like once you honest, you give that man the decision if he still want to talk to you or not. It's just that simple. It's really just that simple. But don't play me because I'm telling you my flaws and I'm being honest with you. Yeah. That's my main thing. Like, I told you what it was. If I could, like, prime example, wait, one more thing. If like, you know how men is like, yo, I got this picture, but she only got the, like, what is it? I'm trying to do it. Like, she only got the neck up. That's it. Yeah. A big girl, 400 pounds. You got, listen, I take full grown pictures. You know what I'm saying? Back then, like, full grown pictures. You either going to accept me or you're not. Yes, I'm a fat girl. You like fat girls? I'm ticklish. You want to tickle me? That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
I feel you on that. So I had the opposite happen to me, right? Let me tell you, like, I met a girl on MySpace back in the days, right? Like, and so you see how your screen is right now? You see yourself? That's exactly how her picture looked, right? So I went to go pick her up, and like, she's like, yo, I can't really go nowhere, so just meet me in the lobby. We'll talk, la la la. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm sitting in the lobby of her building. It was I remember it wasn't a projects, but it was somewhere in Flatbush. And I'm just sitting there waiting. And she like, you know, I called her. She's like, we coming down. I'm like, we. And she came down. Somebody was pushing her in a wheelchair. And, you know, like, I'm just sitting here like, you know, like, dude, I don't want to be disrespectful about this situation, but me and you talked on the phone for like hours. I offered to pick you up from work. You told me you work. Like,
she did in a wheelchair. No pun intended. She was working in her wheelchair.
Yeah, she came down with an attendant, and it was crazy. But like, I felt so disappointed. Like, yo, you could have just told me that.
And it starts from the beginning.
And that's the thing about friends with benefits. That is exactly the thing.
That's a good.
If you establish, if you establish what you want in that friends with benefits situation from the beginning, I clapped her cheeks, by the way. But back to the story. I mean, back to if you explain what you want in the beginning, I think that, you know, like you let people make their decisions based on the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wow, but a whole hour went by so quick. Jeez,
yes, that was so quick. Like, I was telling Don, like, we gotta start extending the show to like an hour and a half, maybe. You know, like get some real time in. But
I can't even wait. Yeah, because we have a lot of topics to talk about, some really juicy ones. Like, I can't wait.
I think and Precious just hit the nail on the head. She said men respect honesty, women respect lies more. And that is the absolute truth. So that's where a lot of the confusion comes in, because women respect lies more, right? That's so true. I think that because they respect lies more, they lie more.
True.
Like,
and we can lie good too.
And sometimes, because after a while we get to know you. Like, we know how you are. We know when you're lying. Like, most of my female friends, they can't lie to me. You know, like, because like now I know how you are. I know how to read it.
Exactly.
You know, and the other thing is, like, if you're really friends and, you know, you're going to be friends with benefits, then you should be able to keep it 100.
True.
You know?
But the best thing to do is be friends with benefits and, like, just have an understanding. Just know, like, we're just friends with benefits. We're just having fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with just having fun.
See, the thing is, like, when we're doing it, you know, I don't want to give too much details, but when I say whose is this and you say it's mine, I actually believe that.
Thanks, Precious.
Thanks, Precious. We appreciate you. But you know what I mean? Like, when we do it and I'm like, whose is this? And you say it's mine, I believe that in my heart.
Why would you ask that question about who pussy is it and you want to... It's not yours.
Tell me it's Jerome so I can leave it alone. I dare you.
No. I'm going to just tell you because at that moment, it is yours at the moment. And that's it.
That's not cool. Precious, I got you. That's facts. I don't believe it. So now, like, you know, like, I have that's why, you know, like, I have trust issues now, because it's like, yo, you know, like, to be honest, like, I lived under a rock. Like, I was, like, really sheltered growing up.
Yo, why are you telling everybody us women stuff, Precious? Don't be...
So
I thought you were sleeping, Precious.
So I, you know, like, I grew up like really sheltered, right? So like all of this dating stuff, all of this stuff, like now, like, because I got married and I was, you know, in a relationship with my ex-wife for a long time. Yeah, she was at the moment. Good Lord, Precious, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start you back up, Mama.
But she's talking the truth, though. She's talking 100% facts for the moment. Don't ask no questions that you can't accept.
No, because I could accept it. You're gonna give me the option to leave. Like, listen, like you'll give me the option to leave it alone. That's all I want. Listen, all I ever want from any woman in a relationship. There you go. Let me flip those taxes. But yeah, the only time like I ask a woman, I mean, like the only time I'm really, like I want honesty is because I need to make my decisions based on what you're telling me. So if we're planning for the future or if we're planning to be in a relationship, I need that honesty so I know, like, okay, this is how I can set my life. So now if you're lying and I find out you're lying.
Listen, if she was friends with benefits, she wouldn't be friends. That would be your girl. So she's just friends with benefits.
Exactly.
She's friends with benefits anyway.
And no, but listen, first of all, I don't got community penis. So like, like this is exclusive. You know what I mean? Like
I don't got community penis.
This is exclusive. So like, like I kind of keep myself out of, like I'm not running around banging everybody and taking risks.
That's good to know. Jeez, like. Jeez. That's excellent to know.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, so At the end of the day, it's like, yo, I'm looking for a real situation, whether it's friends with benefits or whether it's a relationship. Like, let's make it real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then we could go
from the very start. That's it.
Yeah. How you start is how you finish.
Well, okay.
If you start with a lie, it'll end with a lie. So be careful with the people that we pick to be involved in our lives.
Wow. I'm proud of you.
Yes, ma'am.
That was some deep shit right there. That was some deep shit right there. But we gotta go.
You ain't know I was a philosopher? This is the philosophy of on everything.
Oh, God, I'm proud of you. Oh my gosh.
Yo, everybody, that's a wrap for the show. And remember this, it's on everything. Let's get it. Deuces.